who said stuff, and then turn it over towards the state of the college. So, real quick, because many of you have probably already got the email. I saw Lil just sent it about 2 minutes ago, so she's on top of it. If you are on one of the committees of the college, committees of faculty, something like that, you need to meet before the next full faculty meeting, which is September 10th, to figure out who's at Sorry, Senate meeting, faculty Senate meeting. You totally disrupted my chain of flow there. So select a chair as well as work out the work that your committee specifically needs to be working on for the next academic year. So that's my announcement that was scribbled up for me. If you're not sure, if you're on a committee, Lil sent an email out that has all the people who are on all the different committees. All right. So we got some more of the who says. So, at which store would you like to max out your credit card? Harley Davidson. Is that Jonathan Twilley or Terry Cavender? Who thinks Jonathan? Who thinks Terry? Congratulations. You're all correct. All right, if you were voted GHC's most likely to what would it be? Most likely to crack a joke. Nia Martin or Charles Graham? Who thinks Nia? One or two hands. How about Charles? Most of you were wrong. Nia. Let's see, if you woke up and found a giraffe in your kitchen, what is the first thing you would do? Who would hide the cookies? Dash O'Neill or David Van Hook? Who thinks Dash? David? And it was Dash O'Neill. Yeah, so that was the last one for this. Keep an eye out on GHC Inform. They're going to continue doing this throughout the semester. The ones on GHC Inform will get first one to answer correctly. It's a prize, so keep an eye out for those as those come out. So now I want to turn it over back to Dr. Dana Nichols, our interim president, to give us the state of the college.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, or almost good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your sessions, and I hope you spent a lot of money bidding at the silent auction for our ambassadors. How wonderful is it to be on a GHC campus for in-service? I mean, especially, especially at our Floyd location, as we celebrate our 50-some-odd year history as a college while looking forward to what's next. I really want to start by saying thank you. I really cannot say this enough, and I really mean it. All of the hard work by our faculty and staff amidst what, seems like never-ending change and challenges. It just shows how much you embody the mission of GHC to help every student succeed. You have worked to optimize GHC's option for students with innovative curriculum and a focus on local workforce needs. You have worked to make all classes effective and engaging regardless of the modality. And you continue to provide new and exciting ways for students to have the tools they need to succeed with us. So I thank you for your continued commitment, and I know our students thank you too. When I took the interim role of president in July, I wanted more than anything to reinvigorate faculty, staff, and leadership around our shared responsibility of student success at GHC. That said, at possibly any other time in GHC history, re-energizing our charge for a new academic year might be easy, or at least easier in comparison to where we find ourselves today. GHC has had a number of leadership changes, division and department changes, and overall institution changes. Nationally, college enrollment has dipped. In some reports, as much as 25% of students are postponing college. Similarly, more students are putting emphasis on career training and post-college employment. And we continue to feel the effects of an ongoing pandemic. So what's the answer? How do we navigate through these rough waters, and where do we go from here? The truth is, there's no single answer. But I can tell you where we start. We start by remembering what got us here. GHC's growth to the second highest economic impact among state colleges in Georgia says a lot about us. GHC celebrating 50 years as a college during a global pandemic says something more. GHC holding 3 separate graduation ceremonies to accommodate the number of graduates we had last year says something even more. As I reflected on the history of GHC, one thing that truly stands out in the early years of this college, and something I believe we still carry with us today, is unity. A collaboration across academic disciplines, across departments, and throughout the shared care we have for helping our students take charge of their lives by obtaining a college degree at GHC. Way back at the beginning of GHC's history, the founders had a goal: start a college for one community. And they did it. A decade later, a young college made the goal to expand into other communities. And they did it. Later, the goal was to build a championship athletic program. And it happened. On and on and on for 50 years, our college has made goals and found a way to achieve those goals, all for the betterment of the students we serve and the communities we impact. What our history shows time and again is that when we set our mind to something, when we make a goal, and when we work together toward that goal, GHC makes it happen. And that's where we start. That's the first step in answering the question of how we overcome the many hurdles ahead of us. We can increase enrollment by sharing the value of the GHC college degree and the places it will take our students, including the careers we know they'll be prepared for when they leave. And we will. We can retain our students until they have successfully completed a degree at GHC by working alongside them every step of the way. And we will. We can all be ambassadors for GHC in our communities by taking every opportune moment to express what a great, caring, and valuable college experience we offer to everyone from recent high school or GED graduates to those who may not have walked through a school door in a very long time. And we will. It all starts with us, united as a Charger family, with a shared history of success and a vision for even more success in the future. I ask you only one thing as we make our way. Join the charge, and let's charge together. Thank you so much for being here today. In helping to capture the spirit of charging together, I want to allow some time for other members of our leadership to also speak. First, I want to share some time with our Vice President of Finance and Administration, Jamie Petty, for a moment to talk. And then after he finishes, I'd like to invite our Interim Provost and Chief Academic Officer, Sarah Coakley, back to the stage to speak. Jamie?
So those of you who know me, I have a big mouth, and I could probably stand up here and talk for the next few hours, so I'm not going to do that to you today. So I'm going to just talk for just a few minutes. I just wanted to update you on a few things as we go through these last few years. As Lana mentioned, my name is Jamie Petty. I know a lot of you here, but I have served as the GHC Vice President for Finance and Administration now almost 2 years. October will be 2 years since I arrived as interim. And I have been blessed to be a part of the GHC family now overall for almost 10 years. And it's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it. I won't talk for too long, but I wanted to give you some quick updates from the finance area of the college. The last 2 years has brought many challenges. The emergence of the pandemic, but the college has met each one with courage and success. It's those successes I want to talk about this morning. In October 2020, the college was informed by KSU that it would need to find a new location for its Marietta site. Due to the growth that KSU was experiencing, it became necessary to utilize the space that GHC had been using. GHC partnered with the Board of Regents and located a space within 4 miles of where we currently sit. This helped minimize the student location impact. Also, this site also sits on the current Cobb County bus route that our students use at our current site. I'm excited to announce that last week the Board of Regents signed off on the lease, and GHC now officially has a new Marietta location, which will open in September 2017. This site will provide GHC with a little over 21,000 square feet of instructional space, which provides the needed space to continue serving the almost 1,000 students located at this site. We will now move into the renovation phase of the project, where the landlord will be getting the site ready for GHC to begin and open in summer 2022. As we move through this process, I will continue to update the college and the GHC community with pictures and updates as we move forward. I'm very excited about this, and I think that our students are going to be very excited as well. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is we actually had an enhancement on this campus during this time period. Due to a lightning strike in fiscal year 2020, the chiller was destroyed in the library area, and I'm sure some of you probably experienced that. But thankfully, the state of Georgia actually came and funded for us to be able to replace that chiller. GHC is very thankful for the funding given for this project, and I'm glad to tell you that the new chiller has now been installed and is fully operational on the Floyd campus, which enabled us to be able to get rid of that rental chiller that was costing us a lot of money. The other thing that this project did is we built in redundancy so that, Lord willing, it never happens again, but if for some reason something happens, we now have 2 small chillers instead of the 1 large chiller, so that hopefully we won't ever have to spend the money we spent on the rental chiller again. The third thing I wanted to mention was the Wynn building on our Paulding campus. Georgia Highlands College Wynn building was funded for renovation by the state of Georgia. The building is one that was given to GHC by Paulding County at the same time that the current Bagby building was donated. Unfortunately, GHC didn't have the funding at that time to renovate both buildings. So the college has been just maintaining that building throughout the years. I'm glad to announce that the Wynn building renovation is complete and the building is open for use. The building now houses a new chemistry lab, student workout space, student study rooms, classroom space, and faculty office space. If you haven't had a chance to see the building, I would encourage you to take time to go by and see it. It's really an amazing site. Now, before I leave today, I wanted to also provide you a very brief update for the finances of the college. Needless to say, enrollment has been impacted during the pandemic. Fall of 2020 saw an 11% decrease in credit hour production, with spring 2021 seeing roughly another 9% decrease. This was also compounded during the year with state appropriation reductions by the state of almost 10%. However, during the 2021 fiscal year, the the college was blessed with the state providing some additional one-time support late in the fiscal year. And the federal government provided some aid through its passing of the Higher Education Relief Act that also provided some funding for the college. The college has received 2 rounds of this federal aid so far and is working on a 3rd round as we speak. I know there's been some questions about this, so I wanted to talk about the federal aid for just a minute so that you'll understand what this aid has done and what it can do for us going forward. On the first round of the aid, the college received $4.2 million of money. The award required a minimum of 50% of the money to go literally directly to the students, to get the money into the students' hands for whatever the need was. This was at the very beginning of the pandemic, and it was the goal to get money into the students' hands for those who were out of job, educational expenses, or whatever the students may need, but that was issued directly to the students. The other 50% was allocated to the college for support. However, the rules and regulations of the money strictly limited the items that the money could be spent on. It also restricted the students that could be eligible to receive the money as well. The college spent its portion on providing about $700,000 of additional support for the students, as well as expansion of Wi-Fi access at all the sites. That was one of the challenges we ran into when we had to go to an online learning environment. And so now with the Wi-Fi at all of our sites, students should be able to access the Wi-Fi from just about any place on campus. And that's thankful to the funding that came through this. It also helped offset the cost for buying all the personal protection equipment, such as masks, shields, cleaning supplies, cleaning equipment, and then also the enhancement of our online classroom access. Swivel technology that some of you have utilized during your teaching, that was provided as part of this funding. The second round of PERF money provided the college about $8 million of support. Of this $8 million, $2.1 million of this money was required to go directly to the students again. The remaining $6 million, once again, had strict guidelines limiting the expenses to only expenses directly related to the pandemic. However, this round of money did provide the college with the option to use some of it to offset revenue losses experienced during fiscal year 21. And then also a very small amount that we were able to use for some revenue offsets for fiscal year 22. This helped the college not have to make any additional reductions during fiscal year 21. This amount totaled about $4.2 million of the $6 million that we had that could be spent. We also provided out of that money another $1.2 million to help students cover spring, summer, and fall as additional support that went to the students. The fall money will be actually going out in a few weeks. And then the rest of it went again to provide support for the online environment, which requires some new technology in our networking. Also, laptops, PPE equipment, and other costs associated directly with the pandemic. As we continue to charge forward into this year and the next, new challenges will come as we deal with enrollment declines and loss of funding due to those declines. But I know we will overcome each and every single challenge the same way we have these past 2 years, together.
Hi, everyone. So when Dana and Nick asked me to speak, I was a little nervous because I haven't spoken in front of a group, not on a computer screen, in 2 years, right? And none of you have either. And I started to scribble some things down, and it just went on and on and on and on. And so instead of having a long speech, I just really wanted lot of change. There has been a lot of uncertainty. There has been so much fluidity, right? That's sort of the word of the last 2 years. And so I want to thank all of you for everything that you have done. I think I could stand up here for 2-3 hours and probably thank everybody in this crowd for something that you have done for our students, for our colleagues, through everything that we have been through. And I recognize that the challenges that we have faced over the last 2 years have not just been here at GHC. That you have faced things in your personal lives that, you know, some of us don't know about, that, you know, you have kept that to yourself, but know that I have that understanding, that we have that understanding, and that makes us appreciate you even more. So, just a huge, huge thank you for what you do to for our students, for each other. And despite the challenges that we will continue to face in 2021, like Dana said, like Jamie said, we will get through it, and we will get through it together, and that's because of you. So, you know, I want you to think back for a moment, and I'm sure you can remember a student that you have touched their life in the last year and a half, that you have made a difference. And because of you, 458 students graduated in May of this year, despite a worldwide pandemic. So I'm going to be a little corny and ask that you all stand up and give yourselves a hand and look around and honor the folks that are standing. All right. The final thing that I did want to do, I wanted to make it through that without getting emotional. If you watch my Charge Together episode, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Is that I had mentioned that the Provost office had gone through a lot of change in the last 2 years now, I think. And so I always get questions is that, where does this go? Who does this person work for? So I just want to give you all the rundown, because academic affairs is not really the academic affairs that we used to know, right? Academic affairs is student affairs, and student affairs are academic affairs. So just a quick rundown of what's under this umbrella of the Provost office now. So we traditionally have the areas that you know of as academic affairs, right? The things that you think of, that's our academic schools. We've got humanities and health sciences and social science and education, STEM and business and professional studies. Our division of libraries and college testing, and our curriculum coordinator, who, I don't know if she's here, but she's emailing you all about committees of the college and the faculty. So, in February, we also created the Division of Enrollment Management. And that's led by Jennifer Hicks, our executive director. Wave, I'm sure we all know Jennifer, but some of you may not. And so that, she was featured on Charge Together episode 1. But that really includes all of the departments that get our students here and all the way through that first day of class and beyond because of advising, right? So I had to write down all of the areas that are in enrollment management, but so that you know, that's including advising, admissions, recruiting, customer service, dual enrollment, QEP, Veterans Affairs, co-curricular, and transitions, and marketing. Did I get them all? Okay, well, hopefully I did. So that's our new Division of Enrollment Management. I think that group is working on a new website and some new messaging, so everyone will be able to know and understand that department's mission and what they're up to. And then in July, we created a new Division of Academic Retention and Resources, and that's led by our new Assistant Vice President, Michelle Lockett. Where is Michelle? Please wave. Some of you have met Michelle. She started in July 1st, and so not that long ago. Welcome to your first fall in service. And I know she's making the rounds, and I'm eager to meet all of you as the fall semester continues. So her areas that are under underneath that department is CEDL, grants, tutoring, the registrar, student support services, which is also including our career services, and Michelle, herself is our student code of conduct, academic integrity, student organizations guru. So she's going to be working diligently on those things and sharing those initiatives out. And then today we added a fourth piece, right? And so where is our new Dean of Institutional Effectiveness and Strategic Initiatives and your team? So really excited to have Jesse and his group underneath the Academic Affairs, Student Affairs, Provost umbrella. Like I said earlier, I'm always in meetings thinking, I need this data, or I need to know this thing about SAC-COC. And so now Jesse and his group are really going to be brought into the fold. So I'm really excited to work with you, Jesse, and your whole team. So that's the Provost office. That's a lot. I keep hoping that, Dana doesn't sneak one in there and give me something else. It could happen. I know we're running up against time, and faculty have lunch and a meeting to get to, and so I'll end it there, and again, just say thank you to all of you, and I'm honored to serve as interim provost. And I really hope you have a great year.
So I think we need a new person to recharge our alumni efforts. Sarah, we'll talk after this. Just kidding. Thank you, Jamie and Sarah. I really appreciate you being part of this charge together and sharing the news from your area. And I want to just ask everybody here one thing that I asked executive leadership recently. Be kind to each other, please. We have all struggled both professionally and personally for what seems like forever. And we've got a lot more work to do. And it may well be difficult before it gets better. But if we wrap our arms around ourselves and each other the way that we do our students, and we remain kind, I think truly there is nothing this group cannot do. I've been in education for more than 20, I don't want to tell you how long, but more than 20 years. And this is truly the best team, the best group of student-focused faculty and staff that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And I am honored to serve as your interim president. I am so open to any ideas for increased enrollment and retention as long as it's not illegal or immoral. Don't want to go there. So bring forward your ideas. I know Jamie and Sarah share that. We're very open to hearing ideas. And I just want to, again, thank you so much to each person who attended today's in-service in person. I would also love very much to hear your thoughts about a new strategic plan that we just rolled out today, and which breakout session you thought most applied to your new plan. And you can reach out through the president's office at highlands.edu, or you can just stop us in the hallway and let us know. We'd be happy to hear it that way too. And now, at this time I'm going to dismiss the staff for the day. Faculty will continue at the